That's what makes basketball fun. We're going to keep it NBA Western Conference. We're going to step aside from the Lakers game for a minute and welcome in our NBA reporter, Young-Suk, who joins us ahead of Warriors-Rockets, another elimination game 5 tonight. And, what are the players saying with a chance the Warriors to close out the series tonight on the road?
Matt, it's a good bet that Steve Kerr is going to tell his team before tonight's game, poise. He said it in Game 1. When Houston got off to a quick start, this play sounded like it was going to explode. Alperen Sengun had a poster dunk over Draymond Green. Game 2, this place was rocking. The Warriors understand, and this is why they have their championship pedigree, that they have to stay together. That's what Jimmy Butler said. And look, they can't get caught up in the antics that Steph Curry talked about, i.e. Dillon Brooks, okay? Jimmy Butler made it very clear. I don't like Dillon Brooks. We don't have fun when we're on the court. Steph Curry even got caught up in it with a rare taunting foul on him. They cannot get caught up in all those things. They have to keep their poise. And Steph said it's a very long game. No matter how we start off in this game, we got to keep our poise and stay together.
Yeah, championship pedigree, I'd say keeping the poise probably looks more towards Draymond Green than anyone as they look to close this thing out. How's Jimmy Butler feeling going into this one?
So Jimmy is listed as probable. You know he's going to play. He did admit that he was in a lot of pain. And Draymond Green said, look, Jimmy couldn't move for the first 3 quarters, but guess who showed up in the fourth? Playoff Jimmy. I recently sat down with him and I asked him about that persona, Playoff Jimmy. He said, oh, it's just a facade, man. People think that I like to step up my game another notch at this time of year. Maybe I have the ball in my hands a little bit more. Maybe I take a few more shots. He did say, but that guy, Playoff Jimmy, you know what? He's willing to do whatever it takes to win a game. He is literally willing to die on the court. And I think we saw that in the fourth quarter. He scored 14 points and grabbed the biggest rebound of the season where he skied over Steven Adams and 2 of the Rockets to grab basically the game-winning rebound.
Yeah, and all due respect to Jimmy Butler, we have stats to prove that playoff Jimmy is really a thing to back that up. Okay, we know that you're the sneakerhead. You are a resident shoe expert. I want a sneak peek of what you're going with tonight.
Matt, how does this look? I know it may be Rockets colors. You know, maybe that's what the Warriors might say, but I think these are going to be pretty crispy and clean for tonight. Oh, man.
Those are so throwback.
What do you think?
I love them. 9.5. Float them my way if you want. Those things are perfect.
Size 10, Matt.
Oh, half-inch. This has been the story of my whole life. Thank you.
Okay, I don't know if I've ever seen Matt Berry in a pair of Jordans, as Shanae Ogumike.
See, the thing is, I would make those look so good. Ohm will too, but.
Okay, sure.
Yeah,
Anyways.
thank you.
And it'd be my red. I'd be wearing my red with you guys.
It'd be so weird. Okay, Janae, what do you need to see from this Warriors squad tonight in order to close out the series in 5?
Golden State has historically been known for their offense. We talk about Splash Bros. Now they're like Splash Cousins, all those types of things. But if they were to win, they would do it in this series defensively. And their top 2 defenders have truly showed up. Jimmy Butler has done a tremendous job, especially when switching out onto Jalen Green, who other than that 38-point game has been averaging 8 points per game, 29% from the field he's been shooting, and 2 for 14 from 3. And of course, everyone was celebrating Draymond Green, who held Alperen Sengun as well to 3 of 13 shooting while he was on the floor. So what's actually getting this done is the work that the Golden State Warriors are putting defensively, not just offensively.
There were so many questions when Jimmy went out to San Francisco, whether or not this was going to work. We knew he was going to show up in the playoffs for sure, because that is playoff Jimmy. But how much do you believe Jimmy is the X factor for Golden State in these playoffs?
Christine, there are certain people out there that once they walk into the room, you sit up straighter, you stand up straighter. It just makes you on point being in their presence. I think the kids like to call that aura. Well, Jimmy Butler has tremendous, crazy aura when it comes to setting and resetting the competitive firepower of a team. Once he walks in, everyone is on point, especially when it comes to possessions. And it's outside of what he does individually. Ohm did a great job of outlining what he did down the stretch. Knocked down those big free throws, got the most important rebound. But what I love is how he's kind of mentored, I guess, Buddy Hield. If you think about what Buddy Hield has been able to do, the first 2 games in the series, he was only 7 points, Buddy Hield. And then we saw those videos of Jimmy on him. And how did he respond? I think 32 points in games 3 and 4, especially when Jimmy was out, which was very important for Golden State Warriors. So it's not only like him defending and scoring, but just carrying a lot of guys along the way. But, you know, Christine, you're one of those people. You walk in and I'm like, oh, Oh, she's on
period.
point.
It's because we're twins.
You got aura too.
It's because we're twins. And I think it's like aura. You're supposed to put a number by it. It's like aura plus 500. That's what it is.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
Aura
Matt
plus
has,
1,000,
Matt
Christine.
has a negative aura.
Aura negative 50 for Matt.
Exactly. Okay, Sinead, you'll be back later.
Wednesday. From here, it all goes downhill. Hump day. You love it. You know it. Matt Barrett, Christian Williamson here for the next hour. In about 8 hours, the Lakers begin their quest to save their season. We are live in L.A. to hear what's giving Luka confidence heading into a possible season-ending Game 5.
Yes, that. Plus, the 7th seed Warriors have the 2 seed Rockets on the elimination ropes. We are live in Houston. Will Jimmy Butler be ready to go? And for Houston, why the devil is in the details.
Keeping it hoops, the Fever meeting with the media today ahead of the big WNBA season to come. What Caitlin Clark said about the opportunity in front of them. We are live in Indiana.
Plus, Booger McFarland is here to post-draft who he thinks did the best work in Green Bay. Why it's a team that picked twice in the first round.
But we begin in the NBA. Look at our trio of superstars ready to just make you smarter ahead of this big one tonight. We start with NBA reporter Dave McMenamin, who is covering the Lakers. LA on the brink of elimination. McMenamin, what are you hearing about the team's game plan heading into tonight?
Matt, we all know what happened in the fourth quarter of Game 4, but Luka Doncic, when I spoke to him at Lakers practice on Tuesday, wanted to focus on the third quarter of Game 4 when the Lakers outscored the Timberwolves 36-23. He said we were flying around on defense, we were sharing the ball, we were making the right read of the Wolves defense to get better opportunities. It led to open shots from the perimeter. They hit 7 threes that quarter, and he said that sampling of basketball in a road environment against the Wolves when we were down at halftime gives me the confidence that we have a formula we can follow to get this win on Wednesday, which the team is referring to as a Game 7, even though it's a Game 5.
And look, they need to focus on the fourth quarter. They've been outscored the fourth quarter of the last game. They've been outscored in the fourth quarter of the entire series. And we know J.J. Redick did not rest anyone during the second half of that Game 4 loss, which was talked about ad nauseum afterwards. So what can you tell us about how minutes will be managed for the team tonight?
Yeah, Matt, I asked JJ straight up at practice on Tuesday, are we going to see the same group to start Game 5 that we saw to end Game 4? And he just said TBD. But again, if in their film session they're pointing to how great they looked in the third quarter, well, that was Dorian Finney-Smith on the court with the starters and not Jackson Hayes. And Jackson Hayes, before he got that ultra short hook, which after 4 minutes in Game 4 was already not playing very many minutes this series, only about 8.5 a game. And so you had to expect a heavy dose of Dorian Finney-Smith in with the starters, but you'd probably think there'll be some sprinkling of their other role players in terms of Gabe Vincent, Jared Vanderbilt, and Jordan Goodwin. He didn't use any of those guys. JJ didn't use any of those guys in the second half of Game 4. Those guys can all provide a defensive lift, and you think you'll see some minutes for them tonight in an elimination game.
Yeah, at this point, it's a Game 7, even if they win tonight, because their backs are against the wall the rest of this series. We'll see what J.J. Redick does to deploy a different strategy. We know Dave McMenamin will be all over it. Thank you, sir.
All right, basketball analyst Chiney Ogwumike is here to weigh in, my 2020 twin. Chiney, obviously Matt said it. We've talked about this ad nauseum. What is your take on J.J. Redick's minutes management for his squad?
Yeah, twin, where have you been? We're matching with the red. Look, J.J. Redick, he gambled and gave himself a double whammy. One, he maxed out his starters, and that's tough going into a game of elimination where you could be dealing with fatigue. And then two, you have to think about it. He might have lost his bench, lost the trust of them. And the bench is something that he truly needs right now. The Lakers, this bench averaged 12.8 points collectively, the second fewest amongst all postseason teams. And you need them now because this Minnesota Timberwolves team is stacked and is getting production from guys not named Anthony Edwards. Jaden McDaniels has been phenomenal. So has Naz Reid. And so if you think about it, I think JJ needs to switch gears from focusing on offense to defense. Use Jay Vando on the perimeter, Jackson Hayes on the interior for rim protection because they've been outscored in the paint by 60 points so far in this series. So maybe focusing on defense and trusting your guys will pay, and it will help back them up when it matters most.
Yeah, the other thing is if this game went any other way, we'd be talking about it in a different way. Like if they had won the game, it'd be a great decision. If he had gone to his bench and they still lost, it'd be a bad decision. So there's plenty of ways to look at this. this. Chanae, stick right there.
Đi đâu đấy?
Không biết. Mọi người, hôm nay mình sẽ dùng hạt nhựa để làm bỏng nhé. Em chả đi đồn đâu, em nghe người ta nói chứ.
Nghe người ta nói. Chỉ đứa con gái. Tao biết.
Con trai bảo ấy. Con trai bảo ấy, không phải con gái đâu.
Tải thế nhỉ? Lâu nay tất dụ ở nhà. Hôm nay nó có thì nhận, có cái gì? Cặp kẹp bay.
Nguy hiểm lắm.
Cặp quá nguy hiểm.
Là mấy hôm nay em buồn suốt. Mấy hôm nay em bảo là dở rồi, cái này không có người mua kẹo cho rồi.
Suốt ngày dụ ở nhà đây. Chiều chiều đấy thì chỉ có lên quán nước kia thôi.
Đấy, 15 ngày xuống 5 cân đấy đẳng cấp chưa? Ăn 15 ngày xuống 5 cân đấy đẳng cấp chưa? Ăn lại được 5 hôm, 6 hôm rồi lên 1 cân rồi.
Hốc không tăng cân thì tốn cơm tốn gạo.
Vậy con bảo là em nhịn ăn cấp tốc thế để em đi mặc áo dài em đi chát được gì em thôi.
Ui giời ơi, ai cưới?
Vợ Vương Quang Đức đấy.
À, Vương Quang Đức đấy.
May mắn là nó tụt không phanh. Mà đã bảo chụp ảnh cũng thế rồi. Thôi bây giờ em vẫn đang cái đà tụt cân này, em phải nhanh chóng rút về tiếp thôi. Không được ăn
cho
nữa.
Vương Quang Đức đấy cho phải làm cái cháp 200 đi.
Có 100.000.
100.000.
7 cháp.
700 rồi. Trường họ.
Chuyện đâu, không chịu ăn.
Hình như là trường họ này.
Đấy, lấy về nhà dì em đẻ con phát lên cụ luôn. Đang được làm ông rồi, đẻ con phát lên cụ luôn. Dì em để chức cao, trong họ ngoại chức cao. Càng phết. Đi ăn cỗ. Em đi ăn cỗ bạn. Thế em chơi thân với cái con đấy mà lại con em của anh Đức đấy. Thế mời mâm vẫn chào hỏi bằng anh bình thường, xong mãi mình mới nhớ ra là lấy gì mình mà một lúc sau lên nhà rồi phải chào bằng chú. Ngượng hết cả mồm.
Chú. Chú. Chào thế nào thì chào, xa quá thì chào nhé.
Có ra đâu gần mà.
Chọn đi. Không đi dép à? À? Sắp đi học chưa? À? Bố Sơn sắp cho đi học chưa? À, thằng này, thằng con này. Ai thích nào á? Nghe đồn ai kể?
Người gần lắm.
Toàn mõm nào kể để gặp bạn ngủ.
Ấy cũng không ấy đâu.
Toàn tại nhà đây. Bảo chơi với ai? Toàn đồ vợ. Ở sau lưng vợ thiên hạ. Đồ như thật.
Em chợt nhớ ra hôm trước đi ăn cỗ em mới chợt nhớ ra là em còn biết là chị chưa có thật đúng không?
Chưa. Chắc là
chị không điên à?
chị đấy bảo gì?
Đã bảo là con trai còn.
Con trai.
Không, em chợt nhớ ra là anh hay hỏi em có chị nào giới thiệu. Em không phải hôm trước em đi ăn cỗ anh Đức thế rồi em gặp, em mới nhớ ra là bạn thân của chị Xuyên em. Vẫn còn chị Thu. Xinh gái, sống ra ngoài. Xinh gái, cao, trắng.